Can a single mom homeschool? That is the most asked question that I get when I talk about homeschooling. So I want to tell you that yes, a single parent, whether it's the mom or the dad, absolutely can homeschool, and I'm going to tell you how. The first thing you need to know about homeschooling is that it is not public school at home. Some people actually treat it that way, and that is their choice. But actually, homeschooling is where a parent is facilitating the education of their child. And that can take on many forms, and it happens at many different times. And so when you homeschool in every state in the United States, you have the freedom to choose your curriculum, and you have the freedom to choose the schedule. Now, some states will require a certain number of days or hours logged, and some, very few, will require that you report your curriculum and show a progress report at the end of certain time periods, like a quarter or a year. But in every state, the choices are still up to the parent. And so what that means is, first, you have the choice of curriculum. And in case you are not aware, the homeschool world has an amazing variety of curriculum choices available. These curriculum companies have been around for decades and providing curriculum that meets every parent's budget, every child's learning style, every media preference, whether it's books, videos, DVDs, or hands-on activities. And so the curriculum choices are wide, and they are totally up to you. It does take a little time to wade through all of the choices, but that is a good thing. So what this means is you don't have to take the books home from public school. You don't have to access the free public school online. And in fact, I highly recommend that you don't. One of the reasons that people want to homeschool is for a very different education. And you can have a very different education by choosing a very different curriculum. The other way that you don't need to copy public school is with your time. And that can look a lot of ways too. Number one, you can have school any day of the week that you want to, any time of day, any time of year. So while the rest of the world is going to school every Monday morning around 7:30 or 8, and this starts in September, maybe August, and goes for a school year, you are free to do what you want. And so that looks like maybe year-round school, where you choose to have a school day 3 or 4 days a week all year long and take a break when you need it. Maybe you will have very full school days 2 or 3 days a week. Maybe you will have Monday through Friday weeks and take 1 month off after every 3 months. The schedule is up to you. The reason this is so helpful for single parents is because they often have to work, whether in the home or outside the home. And so the scheduling allows for flexibility around the parent's work schedule, childcare needs, and anything else that might get in the way of a normal school schedule. The only reason we think of certain days as school days and certain months of the year for school is because the United States public school system has created something that is convenient for the masses. You won't be part of the masses anymore as a single homeschooling parent. You are serving your family, and so whatever you need is what you can do. When I was a single homeschooling mom, I worked some outside the home, and then other times I worked from home. And so my schedule changed back and forth depending on the job that I had. What was important to me was survival. And so I had to work, I needed to make money, but I also wanted my kids to be homeschooled. And so at different times I had jobs where they could be with me either at the job or at home while I worked in the home. Other times I did hire a babysitter to come and stay at our house with the girls, whether I was working in or outside the home. This allowed me a little bit more freedom to get work done while they were still in the house with me, but I had a nice babysitter who would help them with meals or nap times or even with educational activities. This is going to vary widely depending on your family, your job, your hours, and the ages of your children. You can use an online curriculum to streamline the process, and there are some wonderful companies that create all kinds of different interactive online curriculums just for homeschoolers. You can still use traditional books, or you can even join all of the many outside class opportunities that homeschoolers have available today, like hybrid schools, where they go to a class 2 times a week and the rest of their work is done at home, or a homeschool co-op, which is usually once a week and provides lots of extracurricular activities or even the core subjects. You may also find specific core class tutors who will teach your children algebra or science, writing, history, all kinds of things. I live in a very small rural area of Texas, and we have every single one of these options available to us here. The key is to ask around. Ask in your local Facebook groups, ask at the library, ask a local church. Somebody in your area knows what's going on. So just find out what's offered in your area. What I want you to know is that the way public schools operate is not the only way to educate a child. I have a lengthy blog post on my website where I talk about the fact that it doesn't take 12 long years to educate a child. And once you wrap your mind around this idea, then you start to see homeschooling as freedom, and it's freedom of schedule, freedom of curriculum, freedom of time. It frees up your budget, and you start to become more of a family instead of trying to recreate a little school in your home. I have been a single homeschooling mom. It was not easy, but it was absolutely doable. That was over 20 years ago. Both of the girls that I was raising at the time are grown women. They graduated from a lifetime of homeschooling. They are well educated and well rounded, and they have survived. And I have so many friends who have been or are currently in the same situation right now. It is very possible. And if you want to know more, check out my book, Anyone Can Homeschool by Nikki Truesdell. It's on Amazon and Kindle and Audible. And you can look at my website, nikkitruesdell.com, where I do talk more about the nitty-gritty of single-parent homeschooling and also working and homeschooling.